everyone. On this edition of Living Blind with Cory Jackson, we are in the kitchen again to make a wonderful dessert that I know you're going to love. Sit back, relax, and spend the next little while with us while we make a peach cobbler. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's great to be back with you once again. And yes, we are going to make a homemade peach cobbler. Peach cobbler is one of those things that I grew up eating a lot of times at my grandma Coates' house. It wasn't uncommon to have a peach cobbler baked with a bucket of vanilla ice cream, and we would just all dig in. And it was always such a great dessert. For this recipe, you will need 29 ounces of peaches or 2 of the small cans drained, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 cup of Bisquick baking mix, 1 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of butter or 1 stick, and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. So get your ingredients together and let's make a peach cobbler. I have an 8x8x2 baking dish here. That's definitely what you're going to need. And if you don't have Bisquick, you can make up a batch yourself. You can use 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and a tablespoon of butter. That will make homemade Bisquick for this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in our 1 cup of milk. And now I'm going to add in our 1 cup of Bisquick baking mix. So I have my 1 stick of melted butter here. I'm just going to go ahead and add that into the mix. And then we're going to get a spoon and we'll stir this all together. This crust that this is going to make is going to rise up over the top of these peaches. And I know when you put it together, you don't think that's going to happen. But trust me, when it comes out, the dough will be up over top of the peaches. A few of the peaches might be peeking through, but for the most part, you're going to have a nice crust on the top of your cobbler. And now that we have that all mixed up, we are going to start on our topping, our peach filling, actually. So we're going to dump into this bowl 1/2 cup of sugar. And I've already drained these peaches, so we're going to go ahead and dump them in. Going to go ahead now and just stir them up really well in this sugar, and it's going to make a beautiful sauce. Trust me, you will absolutely love this. Get that all coated in that sugar really well. And if there's a few drops of juice left after you've drained these out, it's not going to hurt anything. It's really just going to help to dissolve the sugar. So I don't worry if for some reason I don't get it all out. Now before I go any further, one thing that I forgot to do is add my little bit of nutmeg on the top. Now we're not huge nutmeg fans, so the only thing I'm going to do is just take a nice pinch and kind of just sprinkle it over the top of this crust mixture I have made up here in the bowl, in the pan. All right, just like that. And now what we're going to do is just evenly pour these peaches right over the top of this dough. Pour those peaches right over the top. gotta get your fingers just a little bit dirty, especially if you can't see what you're doing, to make sure that it's all evenly poured. And it's going to look like this. Now we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees. I like to use the quick heat feature. And when this heats up, we're going to cook that cobbler for around 1 hour. And when it comes out and it cools off just a little bit, we're going to have ourselves a bowl of that with a big scoop of vanilla bean ice cream right on top. While we're waiting on that oven to heat up too, I know when my grandma used to make this all the time, she wouldn't use Bisquick or anything like that. She would make up basically a crust like you would use if you were making homemade biscuits, which makes sense. So she would mix, you know, milk and self-rising flour. I'm sure she would throw some lard in there because those Southerners love lard. And I love it too. I actually keep some on hand. And that's what she would use to make her crust. And hers always turned out great. But what I find is the Bisquick always rises up really nice. And that's what I like. Hers would rise up over the peaches. But I like that nice high crust that you get when you use the Bisquick baking mix. So that is the recipe I always swear by. All right, our oven has preheated and we're just gonna throw this in, let it cook for around an hour. And man, I can't wait. We'll see you real soon. All right, y'all, it's been about an hour since we've put our peach cobbler in the oven. Let's pull it out and see how it's doing. Man, does it ever smell good. Wonderful. Let me give it the old touch test. Oh yeah, that crust in certain areas has risen above those peaches. This is awesome. So sit down at the table and let's eat some peach cobbler and vanilla bean ice cream. Thank you so much for watching today. Please feel free to leave your comments and suggestions. I do read through all of them. And if it's something that I can turn into a video, perhaps maybe I will do it. If you enjoy this content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel using the subscribe button on your screen. And so you won't miss future episodes, please click the notification bell so that you can be notified when new content is available. Have a wonderful day.